Hello and welcome to this special show where actually, let's not just call it a special technology show or a special broadcast of Tech Today. This is the ultimate Apple launch event watch party. We're going to be joined by the Tech Today team, of course, across the network, across the multiverse, and we're going to have very special guests joining us throughout this particular broadcast. Now, what we want you to do is stay active in the comment section on the India Today, Business Today social media handles. Let us know what you think and start spreading the word that this is the only broadcast that you need to tune into to get all the latest announcements from Cupertino, from Apple Park. What is the new iPhone going to look like? Is the Pro model going to be far superior to last year's Pro and Pro Max models? What about USB-C? What are the issues that Apple's facing? The Make in India moment. So much to discuss on this special show. I'm your host, Aayush, Ailawadi, and I'm joined by a stellar team of Tech Today reporters as well. We have Danny DeCruz and Pranav Dixit starting with us in the studio. And then, of course, we also have a bunch of guests joining us through the course of this show. Now, Pranav, it's good to see the entire Tech Today team spreading its wings far wide and open. And actually, well, we have a live blog running on the Tech Today website. That's techtoday.in or the Business Today website. Danny, you're going to be manning that blog. I guess the team's really going to bring everyone up to speed. But starting off with all our reportage of this particular event, guys, very quickly, in 10 seconds, why does everyone need to stay tuned to Tech Today's coverage of the Apple event? Danny, let's start with you.
Yeah, Aayush, I think we have been at it since months now, and we have seen quite a lot of news as expected from Apple, and we know a lot already, but we are still excited to see what Apple is going to show at the event. But stay tuned because we have all the information already on the website. But yeah, Tech Today. I'm sure Apple has something to give us.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that everyone should stay tuned to the website. And this is the ultimate video feed, which you could be watching on the website as well. But there's so many rumors, guys, about what to expect. We've covered it on Tech Today extensively. But before we delve deeper into the coverage, let's really give our viewers and content consumers a sense of what's coming their way in this special Tech Today report on what to expect from Cupertino in the next few minutes.
Just like every year, Apple is expected to host a launch event where we will see the much-awaited iPhone 15 series. For those who are confused if they should buy the iPhone 14 models or wait for the new generation, well, we have news for you. The iPhone 15 series is expected to come with a bunch of new surprises. As per Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, the biggest change that we can expect from the standard iPhone 15 models is that they will be ditching their long-standing display notch feature for dynamic island design. For those who don't know about it as yet, dynamic island design is a much debated feature that was introduced on iPhone 14 Pro models just last year. The iPhone 15 and iPhone 15 Plus models might come with camera improvements, including updated lenses. The Pro models are expected to come with slimmer bezels and upgraded camera with new lenses. These models might even get a power boost with an upgraded 3nm chip, which is rumored to be manufactured by Taiwan's Semiconductor Manufacturing Co. So after a big push from European Union to create a common standard for charging smartphones, by the end of 2024, Apple is now compelled to jump on the bandwagon and introduce the Type-C port in their upcoming iPhone models. The tech giant is expected to finally do away with its proprietary Lightning port. This time around, iPhone 15 and iPhone 15 Plus are likely to feature the new charging port. Another major change that we can expect this time is that the Pro models will come with titanium edges instead of stainless steel, which is likely to make them a tad bit lighter. Since iPhones have always been expensive, the upcoming iPhone 15 lineup will be no different. Apple is expected to bump up prices of the high-end iPhone models. iPhone 15 Pro is expected to get at least $100 more expensive, while the iPhone 15 Pro Max is expected to cost at least $200 more than their previous versions. Now, the good thing here is iPhone 15 and iPhone 15 Plus might not witness a price hike. Apart from the iPhones, Apple is also expected to launch Apple Watch Series Series 9 and Apple Watch Ultra 2 at the launch event in September. While no major changes are expected from the Apple Watches this year, the Watch Series 9 models will see minor battery and performance upgrade. Apple is also expected to introduce a new pink color option for the upcoming Watch series. We've already seen this color variant in the latest iPad Air, iPad Mini, iPad and iMac models. The company is also expected to launch the second generation Watch Ultra 2 this year. This time around, the smartwatch is likely to be lighter than its previous hefty version. It is also expected to be available in dark titanium color option and a bigger display.
Well, that's a roundup of some of the speculative rumors that we've been gathering here on Tech Today over the past few weeks. But some things are almost certain. For instance, one thing that really stands out is a USB-C port finally coming to iPhones. Pranav, this one for me really stands out for the simple reason that if you're entrenched in the Apple ecosystem, you had to carry so many different cords with you all this while, right? You needed, well, a lightning port for a lightning adapter for your iPhone, then you had USB-C perhaps, or a lightning for your iPad, then you needed different things for your AirPods. Finally, Apple will comply with the EU regulation. Do you think this is going to be one of the standout moments for this particular event?
USB-C does really seem like a big update. Now, we already have USB-C with Apple products. If you see MacBook Airs, all the latest MacBooks that Apple has, you have the iPad, the tablets, it also has USB-C. Now, coming to the non-Apple side of things, all the Android phones today have the USB-C port. So this will sort of will be a great amalgamation of everything, and you don't have to carry dongles anywhere pretty much. And it will be interesting to see, because I think Apple did not really do this for the consumers at first. It's because it's the EU who are forcing this regulation on not just Apple, but all the tech companies. So you will see USB-C coming in on e-readers, USB-C coming in on all the tablets, and USB-C coming in on all the phones from 2024. Now, if a company has to sell those products in European Union, which is over 27 countries, they will either have to comply with that or make separate phones, which doesn't make sense for Apple to create a separate sort of an SKU for iPhones for European Union, and then the rest of the world will be on Lightning. So it will be fun to have USB-C on the new iPhones.
So a bunch of things, Pranav. Like you said, USB-C is one real standout announcement that we're waiting for. I hope they don't really put in a quick adapter over there and tell us that we need to use that in different geographies, say here in India and stuff like that. But the Make in India bit is also a big highlight, especially after Tim Cook's visit here to India. Of course, we had a Tech Today exclusive with Tim Cook. And at the Apple store, we had some viral moments that really took over the media space. But the fact of the matter is, this is not the first time Made in India iPhones are coming through, right? Made in India iPhones have been there since the iPhone 14, 13 as well. They came later sometimes, a few months after the big launch. And then, of course, they were the same price as you got them from any other particular place. Now, Danny, that's kind of interesting because you've been covering the live blog on the Tech Today website. Is that where we're seeing a lot of interest? Because the simple question seems to be that, hey, are iPhones going to get cheaper if they're made in India? That's not necessarily the case.
Yeah, Aayush, there has been a lot of chatter about made in India phones, and today especially there were reports suggesting that this is the first time that a made in India Apple iPhone will be selling along with, say, made in China or iPhones made in other geographies. So this is a first for India, and it's a big milestone for India as well, because it shows that a company like Apple, which is like one of the biggest companies in the world, is very bullish about India, and they are giving preference not over China, but now we are gradually seeing this movement towards India. We started off in the year 2017 with the iPhone SE, then we moved to 2018 when Apple started producing iPhone 6s, then in 2019 they started iPhone 7, and so on and so forth. And now this push is visible because it's the first time we'll be able to go and buy a made in India iPhone from the stores and from any other, not just the exclusive stores, even the authorized stores across the country.
Absolutely. And for those people who are really excited about that, yes, that retail experience changes altogether. And there's also sources that are reporting that production of the iPhone 15 in Tamil Nadu is already underway at some of those plants. But the fact of the matter is that with a lot of these products, the cost of raw materials has gone up. And I'm guessing we've never seen this sort of discount being passed on to consumers. So no, the iPhone will cost just as much as it does if you buy it from some other place or wherever else you do purchase it from. That's one piece of the story. There's also the fact that especially with their Pro models, we have, reliable sources confirming that there's going to be a titanium, side panel on those particular models. What that means, Pranav, is something very interesting. It means that one, the phone becomes a lot more durable and stronger. It's no longer a fingerprint magnet like the last 14 Pro Max, hopefully. And also in terms of the phone being a little lighter. Now there's a whole backstory to making it, such a superior product. But I'm guessing that also raises prices. So there are rumors as well that prices might go up this year, Pranav.
Indeed, Aayush. So the prices do really seem that it will go up with the new iPhones because of the titanium coming in as the chassis there. The thing about titanium is that it's really hard to make as a product. So if you are making something from titanium, it's very unforgiving of any of the imperfections that are there. And it's definitely harder to make because of that. Now, anything that is harder to manufacture, especially it's the first time that Apple will be doing it, so it will definitely be more expensive for them. And also, one thing to remember is that Apple hasn't really changed the prices of iPhone since the release of iPhone 10 or X, what some might call it. Now, because of all the inflation that has come in, it does make sense with coming in with titanium as well as the inflation. There is a good chance that we will see an iPhone which might cost rupees 2 lakh in India.
Well, that is a possibility, but we'll only know that, and the countdown has begun. 12 minutes to the start of the iconic Apple event. Now, this is the biggest headline event of Techtember, really the Super Bowl of tech, so to speak. And yes, this is going to be live from the Steve Jobs Theatre, and we're going to bring you all the latest from this particular event. But I'll tell you one more thing about the iPhone, things that we can expect, and we'll really sum it up for you, is the fact that USB-C charging is coming to iPhones. The iPhone 15 Pro and the Pro Max will, of course, be the top dollar product with all the bells and whistles. That's something which a lot of people who are iPhone fans will wait to upgrade for. And then you'll also have USB-C charging in the new AirPods if there is an announcement. This could just be an iPhone and Apple Watch event like the last year. Now, with the Apple Watch, it's not just the Apple Watch Series 9, where there's a bunch of sensors that everyone's been talking about, but it might just be an incremental upgrade from last year's Apple Watch. But it would have a new chipset, and then for people who haven't seen much of a change under the hood, this could mean big news. And then there's the Apple Watch Ultra 2, which a lot of us have been waiting for with bated breath. Now, there is an interesting stat that we have, which we'll be sharing with you through the course of our coverage on India Today and Business Today, and we'll be taking all your comments as well as they keep coming in. And I see a lot of people have joined the live feed. Yes, I am glad you've made the right decision. This is where you will watch the Apple event with all our insights and analysis. We'll be having a lot of guests and the Tech Today team joining the watch party and telling you all about it, because that's what we believe on Tech Today, to give you an informed purchase decision and to tell you what's really cooking, well, all the way from Cupertino, right here from the India Today headquarters at Mediaplex. Now, also one more thing that everyone's been talking about, price aside and features aside, is the pressure, Danny, that is really on Apple, given the fact that a lot of people only upgrade their devices once in 3 years. That's one piece of advice that we give most people on Tech Today across the multiverse as well. You don't need to upgrade every year. And when that big change does come, you see over time, sometimes devices aren't performing as well, not enough iOS support. And then the other real question is, if you look at what we've been covering on Business Today, you see that, the sales are slumping for them. Also, there is a huge concern in China where government workers are being dissuaded from using Apple products. I think that is a very, very interesting piece, Danny, that we will touch upon. But I'm also being told that in the build-up to the event, we have a very special guest joining us, Nishant Padiyar, fellow tech geek, and friend of the show and editor at Stuff India. Nishant, what a pleasure to have you in the build-up. I'm guessing you're as excited And of course, we've spoken about this extensively. But we were just talking about how all the focus is on Apple, because this is an event where they'll really want to attract maximum consumers into the ecosystem and also entice all of us existing consumers to upgrade, Nishant. Nishant, if you can hear me, what I wanted to ask you was that this is, well, a big event for the world, but it's a massive one for Apple because the focus will be on getting new consumers into the ecosystem and also enticing, well, original users of their products to upgrade, which is usually a 2 or 3 year upgrade cycle. Wouldn't you agree, Nishant? Okay, so we're having some issues connecting to Nishant, but he's going to be with us in the next 8 minutes in the build-up to the event, whenever Nishant does come through. Well, Danny, coming back to that focus area, well, what's happening in China, the sales slumping globally, and the big India focus makes this a very important event for Apple, really, and of course, for the larger tech community.
Yeah, Ayush, starting with the conflict in China. So recently, the Chinese government had issued a ban for their government employees to use iPhones and even other foreign brands, but the emphasis was on iPhones because it's a big deal even in China. And the sales haven't seen a hit yet because the category is pretty small right now. Patriotism and for passion for Chinese brands is building up, and people are questioning why US can ban Huawei but China cannot ban iPhone. That's the kind of sentiment. So they are facing a lot of pressure there. At the same time, they are already witnessing a slump in trends, as in search trends. There was a recent report on Google search which showed that gradually after the iPhone 5, there has been a certain dip. Like there has been a constant dip for the consequent iPhones. Correct. And even iPhone 15 trends are showing the dip, which is a worrying sign for Apple, and let's hope that they can hit a home run.
Danny, judging by the people tuned in to the Tech Today coverage right now, there is, I don't know if it's Tech Today's community or it's the Apple fans, but we have two stellar experts joining us. Nishant, I've been trying to connect with you because we're waiting for the pearls of wisdom from your end. But how excited are you, Nishant, about an event starting in the next 6 minutes?
I mean, it's palpable, the excitement. You know, it's like the Woodstock for IT nerds and gadget geeks. So for me, it can't get a bigger festival vibe than this. So, and I've already been watching the intro that's been playing, the intro graphic that they already have playing inside the Steve Jobs Theater. And we all speculate, right from the stage of Apple sending out invites about possible hints at what's going to be dropped at the event. And it looks like there are these shards of titanium floating around in space, which is what it appears to be, in different shades of blue and gray. And that, again, would be indicative of the new colors that we might be seeing on the new iPhone range as well, and possible also a titanium body.
Interesting titanium body, a little bit from the Wonderlust invite as well that Nishant's talking about. Tarun, it is fascinating, but there's so many numbers that we can put together, which we're going to have you through the course of the show and our coverage. And Nishant's obviously running a live blog himself. So we're going to be tuned in to the Tech Today blog and what Nishant's been reporting as well, and just try to understand what the buzz is all about. The excitement is palpable, Tarun, but very quickly, yes. We were talking a little earlier before you joined in about how Apple also is facing some sort of pressure in terms of a slump in sales and what's happening in China. Is this really Apple's moment to shine? And do you think they're really feeling the pressure? Do we need blockbuster announcements in the next 5 minutes from Cupertino?
Yes, so not exactly actually. So I don't think Apple is facing any pressure. Okay. So every year when we go live into this event, we always discuss, there is two sections of people. Like one, they think that there is an incremental upgrades, and then you have N-3, N-4 users who are waiting eagerly for these new iPhones to launch. So I guess the new iPhones are always they always matter to people who have not upgraded their iPhone in the, let's say, 3 or 4 years. And then we have another 2.5 billion Android users out there, which Apple is continuously looking to target because they want to get more and more people in their ecosystem. It's like something where you get in and it is very difficult to get out, in the entire, the stickiness of the entire Apple ecosystem.
All right, Tarun, in terms of some of the rumors that we've been gathering, number one, of course, the USB-C announcement. Number two, is that going to really irk consumers? Number two, also this whole bit on titanium and maybe prices going up. Are all the tech geeks at Counterpoint really envisioning the prices going up, especially here in India?
Do, especially on the Pro series model, with looking into all the forex and obviously you have the camera bump upgrade, but that hardly matters, right? To the someone who is looking to buy, because with iPhone you are not buying just a phone, you are also buying a status, right? And it's something like I said, you are so deep inside an ecosystem that is very difficult to go out or try something new on that. And then obviously then we have slump of different things where you can basically pass on this pricing over a period of time. Even in the emerging markets you have these EMI schemes and everything that is floating around, but the excitement is always to go for the latest and the greatest, because now I think what Apple has done in the past 1.5 years, a good thing is their Pro series and the normal series has been very differentiated, and so I think that is working in favor of them. The ones who want to get a better camera, they go in favor of the Pro series, and I see that thing no different this time. People have very clear cut expectation whether they are going to buy a base variant or they're going to buy a Pro or a Pro Max one.
Oh, very well put, Tarun. Nishan, so if the colors don't really match last year's colors with the deep purple and stuff like that, do you think we're going to get, well, a new version of their space gray, a black or titanium? What's that one color which they're really going to be marketing? And I know that you're someone who's been tracking Apple for all of us on this panel combined in this watch party. So with your youngest pearls of wisdom, please do share, Nishant, with the Tech Today community, which color should we be expecting in the next 2 minutes?
I think they might not be very, they might not go very experimental with the color palette. And I think it's going to be more shades and hues of blues and grays, at least, which is what, everybody's gathering from the invite that went out. And even right now, like I said, the intro graphic that's playing, it shows shards of titanium in various shades of blue. So I think that could be the hero color that we'll see plastered all over the global cities and billboards everywhere. I mean, it's interesting to know because, I mean, in fact, there was just a report that released yesterday about Apple spending on R&D, and they've upped their spending in 2022 by $4 billion, and it's I think stands at $22 billion total of R&D budget. So they really have spent a lot of money amping up the R&D budget. So I hope that some of that also has gone to designers and people who manage the shade cards within the industrial design.
Nishant, there's one thing I do want to understand very quickly because the event's going to start in the next few seconds, but all this talk of the India focus that we gathered as well from the India announcements a few months ago, can we expect the iPhone to really be launched contemporaneously with the rest of the world? What I mean is the Apple Store in Saket and BKC, will we see lines and lines in the coming weeks of fanboys out there picking up their new iPhone 15 or 15 Pro Max?
Well, the timelines, I am pretty sure, are going to be pulled up significantly. So we should be seeing the iPhone launch in India within the same week, or probably this the week after the US launch, or probably concurrently as well. So I think that's a great sign. Whether we'll have queues outside Apple stores or no, I'm not really sure. I think that era has gone. But there will be significant excitement for the Pro models because that is where all the technology is being focused.
Awesome, Nishant. Look, we know that you're also very busy with all the stuff you're doing in terms of coverage. We're going to come back to you. And of course, Tarun, we'd love for you to continue with us on the Watch Party. I know that you'll also be preparing a bunch of reports, which you will hear exclusively on this Tech Today special broadcast. The animations are there. The really cool announcements are all set to begin. Tech Today's team is going to be on top of this yet again. We're going to be live on India Today, on Business Today, and there's a live blog running on the Tech Today website on businesstoday.in. It's all happening here in the Tech Today multiverse and the announcements are going to be coming in from the Steve Jobs Theatre in Cupertino. I think the event is beginning. What we're going to be covering these developments. What a joy it's been to put this Tech Today special together for you. Thank you so much for being a lovely audience. We've really had a lot of you all tuned in, and well, continue watching the event, and you have to stay tuned to India Today and Business Today for more. I'm your host Aayush Ailawadi saying until next time, adios.
Share these special videos with any
ahead of the 10th annual